There are really only two ways to walk through this life. You can either be a person who accepts the script that's been handed to you, or you can be the person who rips that script up and writes their own. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for someone else to open the door, waiting for a sign, or waiting for permission to finally be who they were meant to be. But then there's a small group of people who don't wait. They choose themselves. They don't look for a seat at the table. They build a new one. When you belong to that second group, you move through the world with a different kind of energy. You don't walk into a room hoping people like you. You walk into a room and the atmosphere shifts because of your presence. People can sense it immediately. It's an undeniable frequency that says you aren't here to play by the old rules. You aren't looking for validation or a pat on the back. You are here to disrupt the status quo, and if you're reading this right now, you know exactly what that feeling is. The truth is, your power is something that most people simply aren't prepared for. It doesn't just catch their eye, it resonates deep within them in a way that can be very uncomfortable. Your presence alone forces people to look in a mirror and question their own choices. They start to feel small, insecure, and exposed, but not because you've said anything to them. It's because you exist outside the artificial limits they've set for themselves. Nothing haunts a weak person more than someone who proves that those limits were never actually real. The most dangerous thing in any controlled environment is the one thing that refuses to be controlled. You don't have to raise your voice or make a scene to be a threat to the system. Just by existing as your authentic self, you are shaking the very foundation of their reality. The way you think, the way you refuse to shrink yourself down, and the way you carry your own weight disturbs those who have spent their lives conforming. You are a glitch in their carefully constructed world of predictable behavior. Society thrives on predictability because it makes people easy to manage. They want everyone to think the same thoughts, move in the same circles, and follow the same rules without ever asking why. They've built a world where most people are trapped inside invisible cages made of social expectations and fear. But when you walk in and show that you aren't afraid of the bars, you break the lock for everyone else. That is why they fear you. You represent the freedom they gave up long ago. Because they can't box you in or label you, they don't know how to handle you. They look at you and feel something raw and untamed that they can't rationalize away. Your energy is loud even when you are standing in total silence. Your presence alone exposes the boundaries they've placed on their own potential. To regain their sense of control, they will try to minimize you. They'll call you difficult or arrogant, but what they really mean is that they can't make you obey. Nothing is more terrifying to a person who relies on control than a force that moves without warning. They don't fear what they can predict, they fear the unknown. Most people live inside a loop, repeating the same safe patterns every single day. They move like clockwork because it feels safe, but you don't operate on a loop. You don't react the way they want you to, and you don't play the role they wrote for you. This unpredictability drives the controllers absolutely insane. They will watch you and study you, trying to figure out what makes you tick so they can find a way to influence you. But the second they think they have you figured out, you evolve. You shift into a new version of yourself that they never saw coming. This shakes them to their core because people who rely on manipulation can't handle uncertainty. If they can't predict your next move, they can't stop you from reaching your goals. You are essentially invisible to their radar. When they realize they can't predict you, they will try to test you. They will poke at your emotions and try to push your buttons just to see if they can get a reaction. They want to pull you back into a category they understand. If they can get you to act out of anger or fear, they feel they have won because they've made you react to them. But when you remain centered and move with instinct instead of reaction, you become untouchable. Your precision is a nightmare for those who live in chaos. True power is never handed out as a reward for good behavior. It is seized by those who have the courage to take it. Most people spend their lives in waiting mode, hoping for a title or a promotion to tell them they are finally worthy. They wait for someone to say, "Yes, you are ready now." But the winners of this world don't wait for a green light. They recognize that the light is only red if you believe in the stop sign. They step forward regardless. The reason you are a problem for the system is that you stopped asking for permission. You were supposed to stay in a state of constant self-doubt, apologizing for your ambitions. That's how the hierarchy maintains the illusion that only a few are allowed to rise. They want you stuck in a cycle of wondering if you're good enough, while they take everything that could have been yours. But you broke the game the moment you decided that you were already qualified. When you take up space without hesitation and speak without lowering your voice, you terrify those who need validation to feel important. They need a stamp of approval to feel worthy, but you don't. This makes you a dangerous variable. They will try to humble you or undermine your confidence because they know that the second you believe in yourself, their rules become irrelevant. Your refusal to play their game of "may I" is the ultimate act of rebellion against a stagnant world. Some people don't actually fear failure. They fear the proof that they never truly tried. When you walk into a room and demonstrate your excellence, people start shifting in their seats. They might make snide comments or act like you're doing too much, but it's never actually about you. Your existence forces them to face the dreams they abandoned and the risks they were too afraid to take. You are a walking reminder of every version of themselves they buried under excuses. Instead of dealing with that internal discomfort, weak people take the easy way out by projecting their frustration onto you. They disguise their envy as concern or backhanded compliments. They'll ask why you're trying so hard or say it must be nice to have your confidence. What they're really saying is that they hate how your progress highlights their stagnation. They don't attack mediocrity, they only attack what threatens their comfort. If you were ordinary, they wouldn't waste their energy on you. You are not responsible for making other people feel comfortable at the cost of your own growth. You are not here to shrink your light just because it's hurting someone else's eyes. The people who are ready to grow will be inspired by your journey, and the ones who aren't will try to tear you down. Either way, their reaction is a reflection of their own character, not yours. Let them deal with their own demons while you keep rising. You weren't born to carry their baggage. If people are aiming stones at you, it's because you are a target worth hitting. They don't throw rocks at ghosts or people who don't matter. The moment your name is being whispered in rooms you haven't even entered, you've already won. People don't waste their breath gossiping about the weak or the irrelevant. The fact that they are watching your every move and obsessing over your choices is proof that your influence is growing far beyond their control. They fear the person who refuses to be silenced or managed. They see someone who is rising and it triggers a deep, seated panic within them. It reminds them of their own wasted potential and their own fear of stepping up. To protect their ego, they try to twist your words and downplay your achievements. They need to believe that your success is a fluke because if they admit you earned it, they have to admit they could have done the same but didn't. The irony is that the more they talk about you, the more powerful you become. Every attempt to discredit you only serves to spread your name further. Every whisper is a testament to the impact you are making. While they are busy building entire conversations around your life, you are busy building your future. You don't need to defend yourself or explain your path. Their reaction alone is the only validation you'll ever need to know that you are on the right track. The desperate need to be liked is a leash that keeps people trapped in mediocrity. Those who chase approval are easily controlled because their self-worth is in someone else's hands. They dim their light and soften their edges just to avoid making anyone else uncomfortable. But approval is a trap. The moment you live for the opinions of others, you become their puppet. When their mood shifts, your world falls apart. True leaders don't care about being liked, they command respect. Respect isn't about fake smiles or surface-level praise. It's built on the undeniable reality of your value and your results. People might not like you, and they might even actively root against you, but they cannot ignore your competence. That is true power. When you stop explaining yourself and stop making yourself small to fit in, you become untouchable. You are no longer performing for an audience. You are living for a purpose, and that changes the entire dynamic of your relationships. Most of the powerful figures in history were misunderstood, feared, and even hated by the masses of their time. They didn't spend their energy trying to win a popularity contest. They focused on their vision and let the world adjust to them. When you realize that someone's dislike of you holds no actual power over your reality, you become free. Let them be uncomfortable with your boundaries. Their approval has no value, but your self-respect is the foundation of everything you build. Lions don't waste their time explaining their hunting strategy to the sheep. In the same way, you don't owe an explanation to people who have already decided not to understand you. You speak a different language, the language of action, progress, and execution. Most people speak the language of hesitation, doubt, and excuses. You could explain your vision 1,000 times, and they still wouldn't get it because they aren't wired to see the possibilities that you see. Every time you suggest a bold move, they will come back with a list of what-ifs. While you are looking at the next summit, they are looking for the safest place to sit down. You aren't operating on the same frequency, and that's okay. You don't have to slow down so they can keep up, and you don't have to shrink your dreams so they feel safe. Let them stay in their circles of doubt while you move forward and create the reality they claim is impossible. The people who are meant to walk this path with you will recognize your language immediately. They won't ask for 1,000 explanations. They will simply see your movement and join the pace. For everyone else, let them be confused. Let them call your ambition reckless or unrealistic. Their labels are just a way for them to feel better about their own lack of movement. Your results will eventually do all the talking for you, and by then, you'll be miles ahead. We live in a world that equates noise with power. People think the one who yells the loudest or argues the hardest is the one in control. But real power is often found in what you choose not to say. Your silence is a weapon that makes people incredibly uneasy. It forces them to fill the void with their own insecurities and questions. When you refuse to get defensive or explain yourself, you maintain a level of mystery that they simply cannot penetrate. Weak people have a desperate need to justify themselves. They need the world to confirm that they are right and that they matter. But you don't need to prove anything to anyone. When someone tries to provoke you or pull you into a petty argument, they are trying to bring you down to their level. The moment you engage, you give them power over your energy. But when you remain silent and let their words fall into empty space, you retain your dominance. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who is watching and calculating, not the one making the most noise. You don't need to react to every insult or every rumor. You are above the fray. When you master the power of restraint, you become a force that cannot be contained. You aren't giving them anything to work with. Your actions, your presence, and your ultimate success will be the loudest thing about you. Silence isn't weakness, it is absolute control. The moment one person proves that the rules are just suggestions, the entire system begins to tremble. Most people follow a path laid out by others without ever questioning if it's the right one for them. They go through the motions because they believe it's the only way to be rewarded, but you are the rule breaker who makes them sweat. You showed up and succeeded without following their blueprint, and that is a direct threat to their sense of security. If you can succeed without playing by their rules, it means their rules were never necessary to begin with. That is a terrifying thought for someone who has spent decades obeying. To protect their world, they will try to dismiss your success as luck or cheating. They have to believe you did something wrong, because if you did everything right, it means they've been holding themselves back for no reason. You represent a reality they weren't prepared to face. You are the proof that limits are often self-imposed illusions. You show that the safe path was never the only option. They will try to downplay your achievements and act like you are an anomaly, but deep down, they know the truth. You broke the spell. Once the illusion is broken, people start to question everything they thought they knew. You aren't just changing your own life, you are shifting the consciousness of everyone who watches you refuse to conform. As you continue to climb, you will notice that the crowd starts to thin out. Elevation isn't necessarily lonely, but it is exclusive. Many of the people who were with you at the bottom won't have the lungs for the thin air at the top. They can't handle the pressure, the discipline, or the responsibility that comes with true mastery. It's not personal, it's just a matter of who is willing to do the work to keep ascending. Some people will resent you for moving forward. They'll try to make you feel guilty for evolving, claiming that you've changed, but changing is the whole point of the journey. You didn't leave them behind, they chose to stop climbing. Don't let their stagnation anchor you. The ones who belong at your new level will meet you there, and the ones who don't will naturally fall away. This is a necessary filter for your life to reach its full potential. You were never meant to blend in or live a small, quiet life of obedience. You are the disruption, the storm, and the force that cannot be managed. The second you fully embrace your power and stop seeking permission, you become truly unstoppable. If this message resonated with you, drop a 99 in the comments to signal your mastery. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth.